Hello, everybody, and welcome to the finale of the Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location 100% Completion Guide. Now, this guide's going to be quite a bit different from the other ones, and I'm going to go much more in depth on how to deal with the characters and the strategy for 1020 mode, so let's just get straight to the point. I'm going to start by going super in depth on how to deal with every character, much more in depth than my other guides, so let's just go straight into it with Ballora. Ballora will move between the two halls outside of the doors, and when she's close to one of the doors, you have to shut it, and leave it shut until you hear her music go quiet again. Her music has 4 stages to show how much she has progressed through the halls. Quiet. She's as far away as she can be, you don't have to worry about her at this time. Getting closer means she's entered one of the halls and she's currently in it. Moderate, which means she is halfway through a hall and she won't go out of it now. Don't close the door just yet when she's in moderate, though. You'll waste a bit of power. And finally, loud, which means she is at the door and you need to close it until you hear her music go quiet again. One big power-conserving tip that I'll mention as well is that Ballora has an interval to leaving the door at 5 seconds, so if the door is shut past a 5-second interval, then you can immediately open it, if you're dealing with Ballora specifically. Here's a demonstration of that. As you saw, I closed the door on 27 and then immediately opened it on 30 and she left. That's all I have to say about Ballora, so let's go to our next character. Funtime Freddy. Funtime Freddy moves between cams 3 and 4. You can tell which one he's gone into based on the direction his footsteps are moving in. They sound very similar to Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear's from FNAF 4. Now, Funtime Freddy's going to be talking all throughout the night. He has a lot of voice lines, but there's only 2 important ones. Bon, go get him, and get ready for a surprise. When he says Bon, go get him, he's sending Bon to the door that's on the same side as him. So if he's on the left side, which is cam 3, then he's sending Bon to the left side. If he's on the right side, which is cam 4, he's sending Bon to the right door. You have to shut him until you hear a knock on the door that you shut. If he says get ready for a surprise, it means he's sending Bon to the opposite door. So if he's on the left side, then he's sending Bon to the right door. If he's on the right side, he's sending Bon to the left door. This is why it's very important to keep track of Freddy and where he's at. There's a few things you can do to help keep track of him. You could say where he's moving out loud when you hear footsteps, or you could just try to keep it in the back of his mind. Whichever one you use, both of them work really well. But whichever one you use, you just have to keep track of him, and it's all about trial and error, really. You're probably gonna lose to Freddy quite a bit trying to do 1020, just because you lose track of him. Just keep trying. It's just trial and error. One last thing I want to mention about Freddy is he has a pretty generous kill window, so you can wait about a second before having to close the door when he's sending Bon to one if you're struggling with conserving power. But you really shouldn't have to. The power isn't that bad on 1020. So I'd say just close the door after his voice line finishes. You probably shouldn't wait unless you're a lot better at dealing with him. And that's all I have to say about Freddy. Now we can move on to the next character, who is much more simple. Yenndo. Yenndo functions like Golden Freddy in FNAF 2. He'll randomly appear in the right side of the office when you pull down the cams, and you just have to pull them back up quickly to get rid of him. If he's in the office for more than 2 seconds, he will kill you. He'll also rapidly drain oxygen when he's in the office too. I will also note that you should not double flip or spam cams until Yenndo appears, as that can waste a bit of power and make Bonnet much more annoying to deal with. You should just try to make sure you're only flipping up again when Yenndo actually appears in the office, as it's not good to get in that habit in 1020. And that's everything I have to say about Yenndo. So let's move on to our next character. Funtime Foxy. Funtime Foxy is the main reason why you're flipping up the camera so much on this night, is to keep him stalled on cam 7. He functions like a much more difficult version of FNAF 1 Classic Foxy because he has much faster intervals and can only be stalled on cam 7, unlike Foxy in FNAF 1, who can be stalled on any camera. And he's another reason why timer is very, very useful in the 1020 mode, so that you can track when you're supposed to be opening cams. You should be checking Foxy about every 5 seconds before a 5-second interval, so that you can stall him, since he gets stalled for about 5 seconds, and because this also lets him get synced up with Minireena and Electro-bab, who I'll explain later on. Like with Ballora, Foxy has 4 stages that you should be checking out for. Stage 1 means he's just hiding in the curtain. Stage 2 is when he's peeking out of the curtain. Stage 3 is when he's stepping out of the curtain. And Stage 4 is when he's fully out of the curtain and ready to run. And if he's completely gone from the camera, and I mean the curtain's completely wide open and he's nowhere to be seen, then he's currently running to the door and you need to shut it until you hear him politely knocking on the door. Then you can immediately open it and he'll be back in Stage 1 or 2. And that's all I have to say about Foxy right now. I'll talk more about him during the strategy portion of the guide, when I talk about the cam cycle. But for now, let's move on to the next character. Bonnet. Bonnet's one of the more annoying characters because of how frequently she shows up, since she has a chance of appearing every time you pull down the cams. And when starting out 1020, she's probably going to be the thing you dive to the most, just because she's hard to get used to when everything else is going on at once. So she is mostly just trial and error, but I do have a bit of advice for you to deal with her a bit better. See where I'm keeping my cursor in these clips? I put them right between like the Fredbear plush and these monitors on the side here that Lolbit show up on, so that I have the most amount of time to react to Bonnet while still being able to see Yenndo at the same time. And this is a spot where you can actually somewhat see the cursor through the Minireena 2s, but I'll explain more about those guys when we get to them. And like I said, Bonnet's mostly trial and error. You're just gonna have to get used to her a bit better. That's all I really can say. Let's move on to the next character. Minireena 1. Electro-bab. Starting with the bottom row, I wanted to talk about both Minireena and Electro-bab at the same time since they do the exact same thing pretty much. Minireena will spawn in Cam 6 and start draining your oxygen, and Electro-bab will spawn on either Cam 3 or 4 and drain your power. To deal with them quickly, we just have to give them a controlled shock on those cameras. Minireena will always spawn on Cam 6, but Electro-bab will switch between Cam 3 and 4. The best way of knowing where Electro-bab is knowing where Freddy is, as Electro-bab will always spawn on the opposite side as Funtime Freddy, so you can zap them much faster. Electro-bab can also be a good way of checking where Freddy is if you lost track of him, as you can just zap both cameras to be sure. Minireena and Electro-bab are also synced up. They'll appear at the same time, and they can get synced up with Funtime Foxy as well, which creates the cam cycle strategy, which is the strategy I'll be talking about later on in the video when we get to the strategy explanation section. That's all I have to say for Minireena and Electro-bab, so let's go to the next character. Bidybab. Bidybab is one of the more annoying characters, and is also the only threat in the vent, so you don't have to worry about anything else coming through there. Like with Ballora and Foxy, Bidybab has stages as to how close she is to you. She has 3. And based off the voice line you hear, that tells you what stage she's in. If she says, I don't want to play hide and seek, that means she's in her first stage. If she says, I'm going to find a way inside, that means she's in her second stage. And if you hear banging in the vent, she's in her third stage. When she's in stage 3, you gotta close the vent, or else she'll kill you within 9 seconds, or 3 seconds if you open cams without closing the vent. And you're gonna have to leave the vent shut until you hear a knock on the vent door, which is the exact same sound that Funtime Freddy makes when he leaves a door. And if you're struggling with conserving power, one thing you can do with Bidybab is you could wait 2 to 3 seconds before closing the vent for her, so that she knocks faster on it and you can open it sooner. And that's all I have to say about Bidybab. Let's move on to the next character. Don't worry, we're almost done talking about characters. These are the last 2 and they're really simple. Lolbit. Lolbit will appear on these 3 little monitors in the office, and you have to click LOL on your keyboard to get rid of it quickly. I recommend using your mouse hand to do this, so that you still have access to the doors if something immediate happens. Sometimes Lolbit will appear at the same time as Bonnet or Yenndo, or sometimes all three of them will appear at the same time, which can be kind of stressful, but there's a way to deal with those pretty easily. If all three of them, Bonnet, Yenndo, and Lolbit, appear at the same time, you should quickly get rid of Yenndo by flipping up the cams, then get rid of Bonnet, then get rid of Lolbit. Always do that first, as getting rid of Lolbit before the two could get killed by either one of them, or getting rid of Bonnet before the other two could probably get you killed by Yenndo as well, because Lolbit will disable your cams. That's all I have to say about Lolbit, very easy. Let's move on to the final character. Don't worry, this one will be pretty quick. You've probably noticed these Minireenas on my screen here that are blocking my vision. There's nothing you can do to avoid them, they disappear when you pull down the cams, and they block your vision for the rest of the night. If you keep your cursor in the same area I told you to during the Bonnet section, you shouldn't have to worry about her. There's nothing you can do about Minireena 2, they will just be there. And finally, we can move on to the actual strategy for the night, because we have finished talking about all 10 characters. The strategy I'm going to be talking about is called the Cam Cycle strategy, and it revolves around Funtime Foxy, Electro-bab, and Minireena. The Cam Cycle is a 10-second loop that you're pretty much going to be repeating the whole night, where you do one cam flip before a 5-second interval for Foxy, and then another one before the 10-second interval, and then another cam flip to deal with Minireena and Electro-bab when they start attacking. I say when they start attacking because it's kind of random, because the time that they attack changes throughout the night based on how fast or slow you are in zapping them. As I've said, the Minireena and Electro-bab part of the camera cycle does change throughout the night. It can be before or after the first flip, or before or after the second flip. Either way, you're just going to want to do Foxy the same way, flip before a 5-second interval. But when Minireena and Electro-bab start attacking, you're going to want to deal with them about as soon as you can. You can let them do it for a few seconds, it'll be fine. But you don't want to let them do it for too long, because then you'll start losing quite a bit of oxygen, and that power will go down fast, so be careful with that. Then after each flip, you're going to want to be prepared to deal with the aftermath, Bonnet or Yenndo. When they appear in the office, deal with them like I talked about during the character part of the guide, and deal with Lolbit whenever they show up as well. And dealing with the 3 door threats is just like how I described them. Just deal with Ballora, Freddy, and Bidybab as effectively as I told you to, and you'll be fine on power. And lastly, I wanted to talk about some tips to help your mentality during this run. For the first couple hours of trying, you're going to die a lot in the early hours. That's because you're still getting used to dealing with Yenndo, Bonnet, and everybody else as fast and efficiently as possible. Don't get discouraged by this. It happens to everybody trying to attempt this mode. One very important thing is to take breaks. Don't just try to beat the whole thing in one 7-hour session. That's not very good to do. Take breaks, stay hydrated, just stay calm during the challenge. If you see yourself getting super pissed off at this challenge, just like I said, take breaks, drink some water, maybe rewatch the guide if you need to. That's all you need to do. Just be chill about it. And so that y'all can see a demonstration of this strategy, I'm going to play an uncut win of this mode using the strategy I have described, using all the techniques I've described. I'm going to let you watch that in full, and then I'll get back to you at the end.
Go get him!
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Thank you so very much for watching my guide on Sister Location 10 and 20, and the rest of these guides for that matter. This has been a really fun series to make. I'm going to make another one on Pizzeria Simulator. That's going to be the next series that I start, so get ready for that, because it's my favorite game in the series. Again, I really hope this helped you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, y'all.